The Last of a Drive and Breed podcast is brought to you by DaftonClassic.com. Because I daily drive my 1970 Westfalia, I know the difference between parts that will work and parts that are truly reliable. I started Dafton Classic to help those who drive classic Volkswagens get access to top quality parts for their daily drivers, their show-winning restoration projects, and everything in between. With locations in both Los Angeles, California, and Salem, Oregon, we are able to serve the VW community across the entire planet with personalized service and up-to-date technical advice that accounts for classic car ownership in the modern world. Visit us at www.daftonclassic.com. Mike's alive right now.
All right, let's go.
All right, we're here.
So you guys, that's a clean Land Cruiser, dude.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's come a little bit of a way since I got it because it was just an old sun-dried Valley Cruiser, but found it with a for sale sign and just been kind of rolling restoration since.
How long ago did you pick it up?
I picked it up like 2 years ago, and first thing was just to make it stop leaking because it was leaking everywhere, and then about around the first of the year I took it and got it painted, so just a little windows in paint job and turned out nice.
What was the original price tag?
What I paid for it would originally cost brand new.
What you paid for it?
So I pulled up the guy that signed for $9,000 and I was like, let's give this guy a call, see what happens. I call up and he's like, oh, actually, it's $6,000 now. It's $6,000 now. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, this.
I love that. Right?
Yeah, I was like, right off the phone. I'm like, okay, well, I could tell he's like some kind of urgency or something. But he's like, yeah, this other family came and looked. And they took it to their mechanic, and the guy said it needed all this work and blah blah blah, and couldn't pass smog. And I was like, I don't know. Could you take like 5? And then we ended up getting it for like 5.2, which for a rust-free FJ62 is not bad.
You see, here's the thing. With that kind of price drop, that kind of tells you that the original people that went to go look at it, they're not committed to it. They just wanted a car that already is ready to drive and ready to go, but they don't want to put time into it. They don't want to put money into it. And I think that when you have a daily driver, that's the number one thing. You have to invest in it. Not spend, but invest because...
Keep it going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that FedEx taking off?
Yeah, we could pause. Close to Burbank Airport here.
Well, at least the planes are flying again. You picked it up for that price.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you did with it?
So the first thing I do is make it pass smog. It didn't pass, of course. No, they never pass when you get them. When you get them cheap or anything like that. So the exhaust was just like one big hole through the whole thing. So first thing, I took it to exhaust guy. I did it basically from the cat back. Just ran it. And then the timing was off. Was like, the smog guy said it was opposite. Like it was off 100% or something.
180 degrees.
Yeah. And it was still running fine. Failed twice. And then fixed the timing and passed.
Third time's the charm, right?
Yeah. No problems, and
so properly passed smog.
Yeah, it properly passed smog. Awesome. Yeah, and I think that's probably the reason why he sold it. You know, you guys know Southern California and stuff. It's like people get overwhelmed by just like an exhaust system and new cats, and then but it didn't need much, and then had to fix some leaks. It was just leaking everywhere, which is kind of sad, and it ended up being mostly just like a oil pan gasket.
Oh, those are real fun.
Yeah, and after that, I was like, might as well go paint it.
So now let me ask you.
It's running.
So now let me ask you. Did you just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm going to buy a Land Cruiser? What brought you into buying Land Cruiser?
Well, actually, I was showing Brendan a minute ago. Like, I have a 80 series in the garage, and that I also stumbled upon basically because a close family had it since '96, and I told them, hey, if you ever sell that thing, let me know. And sure enough, I get a call like 10, 12 years later, and they're like, hey, we're going to go trade it on a new 4Runner down at the dealer. And I'm like, don't do that. Because it's like an 80 series lockers. So I ended up just stumbling upon that, driving it all the way back to Jersey. I was living in Jersey at the time.
Okay.
And then I don't know. I think I just decided cruisers were the way to go, and I stumbled upon this one, and same thing all over again. I was telling you guys earlier that I had a newer Lexus, and then once I had 3 trucks, I was like, all right, which one am I going to sell? And I was like, might as well sell the newer one. Just keep dailying the old stuff because it's more fun.
Not only that, but they're a lot more easier to work on. They're easier to
serviceable.
Yeah, so easier to serve, easier than say what? What would you say, Brandon?
Well, you don't have to drop a pan held in with 80 pins to just do an oil change.
Exactly.
Simple. I mean, then this one's got fuel injection. This one, it's actually an auto, which is like, but you either get the fuel injection or you get the manual 4-speed, and the 4-speed's like top speed 65 miles an hour.
I don't think there's anything wrong with an automatic.
Yeah.
Itself.
So the auto,
and not only that, but remember, we live in LA.
Yeah.
Just that
exactly.
Just that in itself is
one trip to the beach, and you're gonna be pissed if you have a FJ60.
If you have a 5-speed manual, 6-speed manual, whatever you want to call it. Yes, correct.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the truth. But
so when you first acquired the Land Cruiser, did you ever off-road it?
This one, okay. So this one, I've off-roaded like once before the paint job. And had some fun. It was all right. It was okay. It's on leaf springs and stuff, so it's not as good as the 80 series on coils, and that has lockers and everything. So that's sort of the trail rig. This is just the daily. So it's kind of sad, but it's sort of a street cruiser, sort of a mall crawler.
No, that is perfectly fine because I rarely do I see somebody daily a Land Cruiser. That is just a sight for me. That is like, you're dailying a Land Cruiser. Like, kudos to you.
It's a commitment on gas alone.
That was going to be my next question. What's your MPG on this thing?
Oh, on that one, it's the worst. Out of the newer ones and everything, this one gets like 11 in the city and maybe bump it up a couple on the highway, but that's about it.
Let me tell you something. Don't feel bad. On my 88 or so four-wheel drive, because I'm running the 27-inch tires, I get about 20 to the gallon on the freeway and about drops to like 11 or 12 in the city.
Oh, okay. So
don't feel bad.
Oh man, I thought they did a little better than that.
Now, mind you, got to remember, I'm only a 4-cylinder with the Weber 38 on there.
Yeah.
Just the 27s.
My truck's a V10. I get 8.
Well, you win.
Nice.
Brandon, excuse me. You drive a Bug, and also you drive a bus. So, what's your MPG on those?
With the high roof.
High roof and your sport Bug.
Peak, corrected for a tire rotation, about 15. Peak.
See, you're right in the average. You're right in the middle between us.
That's not bad.
I had a bus with a bigger engine, a 2-liter and dual, and that had dual levers.
Okay, what was the CCs on it?
It was just a 2-liter, or it was a 7. It was a 79. It was a really late bus.
Okay.
But it didn't have the high roof. That I was getting just about 19 in.
Okay.
The question is, between the three of us, who would win in a drag race, and that would be a tight one.
That would be you. That would be you.
You think it'd be me?
Let's see. What's your power output from what you've seen it? I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen the official specs.
I think the official specs are like 130, 140 horsepower, maybe.
You got us beat. I only have.
Yeah?
Dude, that's more than we have combined.
It's a big wagon, though.
I have 65 in my Tercel. That thing's a 3AC 1.5.
Okay,
the bus 45.
45 on the bus. So
But
yeah,
Mike,
I
you
think
have
I'd take
more
you
than
guys.
us.
I'd take you guys.
No, not think. You will.
Pass you going up the grapevine too, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
It's just
there's no competition there.
Okay, so back to the Cruiser. When you decided on the paint, what other colors were going through your head?
You know, I just went original because I felt like that was my best chance of it coming out nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because the second you go door jams and everything, I don't know.
No,
Sounds more money and more complicated, but
it fooled me. I could have guessed that it was a reshot, but
yeah,
it's clearly an original Toyota color.
Yeah,
and you could have fooled me when I first saw it. If you told me that you cut the paint, buffed it out, I would have believed you.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I'm going for.
That's definitely the
concourse.
That is the right color. that is the right color for that reason.
Yeah. No, I really like the color. It kind of shifts a little bit. Sometimes it's pretty blue, even though it's gray. And I dig it. But I definitely thought about, for a minute, going for like some modern, like one of those army green or something on the new TRDs or something
mean
fancy.
like the matte kind of color?
Not like the matte, but just like a modern Toyota color or something, or like something kind of.
You have like the sandy beige.
Yeah, or like was it Dune or something? Yes, yeah. It was the right move. Just keep it original. I actually have the like the original window sticker that was in the glove box when I bought it, and it said came into Long Beach, went to Keys Van Nuys.
Would you mind bringing that out? 'Cause
Yeah.
I want the
Yeah, let me
audience
bust
to
that out.
see and read it. And
Yeah.
let's look it over.
Give me a few seconds.
So what do you think, Brennan? I mean, this was a pretty nice find that you came up with. I mean, I don't know if you came to you or you.
I just posted on the Radwood SoCal group, just like, hey, if you like daily drive a rad car or older, and this guy just happened to be right in our neck of the woods with open availability.
Well, we were lucky.
A very clean Land Cruiser.
I completely agree. And the fact of the matter is that he's actually dedicated to making it a daily driver, dedicating his time, his money, and whatever else he wants to, and just making it into what it is.
I'll be upfront with you, Alex. The fact that it's the original color and automatic, don't swap it.
Yeah.
Don't swap it.
Well, so do you know the story with the manual swaps though on these trucks?
I don't know anything about Toyotas.
In a lot of foreign markets, they sell 5-speed manuals called like H55, and you can still buy it brand new in America at the dealership. You can buy a brand new 5-speed from Toyota, and it's like not even a ton of money. I think people do the whole swap. They're in it like a couple grand, but I don't know. It's a good move to go these days, I think, because you get an extra gear from the FJ60 guys, so it still cruises high speed and all that. But so I thought maybe one day, but
there's a certain charm about it's not a base model.
By '88, they were sort of going against the Grand Wagoneer, so they're a little fancy. They got the power windows and all that.
Yeah, I mean that all to me just it speaks to it's got a character to it. It's got a charm.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
The detail of the automatic transmission to me it just makes sense.
Yeah. And it shifts great, runs great down the road, so.
There's a saying that we have in the automotive repair business: if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. I'm not messing with it unless something goes wrong. That's a caveat, but.
Okay, so we have the original window sticker from Keys Toyota, which is Van Nuys Boulevard.
Yep.
Home of the
Still there.
Home of the Van Nuys Boulevard Cruise, of course.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Speak from the book of Toyota.
Oh.
Read us a sermon.
Okay, but before I get into it, I did see a couple of Toyota lowriders cruising Van Nuys Boulevard, Friday, Saturday, because they posted up.
They just did a big thing Saturday.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Same thing.
Nice.
Okay, so
I gotta get down there.
Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Land Cruiser. And
found this window sticker in the glove.
Toyota.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it to our audience. 88 Land Cruiser. Of course, 4.0 liter 6-cylinder, 4-speed overdrive, electronic trans, 2-speed transfer case, high-low, of course, vented power front disc brakes, manual locking front hubs.
Vented disc brakes.
Vented.
Power steering, of course, you're going to need it with these big old trucks. Heavy-duty cooling system, you need that.
With a transcooler, I presume.
Yeah, built-in transcooler.
You know what, let me look at that.
A lot of people add a secondary one, though.
I would
of
assume,
course.
I would assume that's under the heavy-duty cooling system.
Probably.
Yeah, I would.
The automatic transmission cooler.
Chrome wheels, grille, and trim, of course.
Mm-hmm. Which the wheels were changed, but I was told they've been on since he took it home.
They look period.
Yeah, they still sell them new, actually, those ones, but yep.
Added equipment. Air conditioner, wow, $890 for air conditioning. Wow, it's
$8.90 for air conditioning.
No, $890. Come on, really? It's not a bug.
So speaketh the book of Toyota.
It's not a bug, and it's not a
Bugs
bus.
didn't have air conditioning.
Exactly my point.
That's not true. They actually did.
Which still works. AC's still working in this one.
So what? Hold on. For a Volkswagen, you just put a big old block of ice and then.
Or if you have the Safari windows on the bus.
I had one on my Bug.
Oh, really?
Fire window.
Yeah.
Yeah, that worked awesome when it was 110 degrees.
Yeah, well, has its limits.
Okay, so AM, stereo, FM with radio cassette, 4 speakers, 190. Not bad. I mean, you have these sound systems nowadays going for how much? Like 500, 600, 700 tops?
Oh, more than that. They have ones that are like $5,000 for a optioned up stereo.
Okay, here's my thing. Power package includes power windows, locked mirrors, $670. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
They pretty much all had that.
Okay.
Some of that really didn't want.
And then grand total for all this, $21,988. Wow. I gotta tell you, for that price, you were better off getting off this than getting a brand new car nowadays, because nowadays these cars don't pass quality inspection by us. I mean, yeah, they may.
Well, I don't know if they'll be here in 32 years either. So.
This thing will still be rolling in 32 years.
Yeah, 32
exactly.
more.
Exactly. That's why they call it the Apocalypse Mobile. Okay, here it is. Here's a spec. City MPG 12.
Yeah. It's
right around.
generous.
And then, oh, look at this. Highway miles per gallon, only 14. Oh, man.
Yeah. It's a brick. Proper brick.
And then estimated annual fuel cost $1,154. Oof.
Those were the days.
Yeah, you could.
What could you? You know what? Let's bring that into. What could you do with an extra $1,154?
To save? What do you mean?
To the car. You know what? To the car.
Well, I got a list if you want to know, but basically, carpet kit, redo the bushings on the suspension, and.
Which one would you say was the most challenging, but you managed to get it done?
Probably just learning how to remove the door cards and fix window motors for the first time on a new car you have.
Okay, here's my thing on that. I completely agree with you for one.
First time, hard.
Yeah, first time's always hard because you don't want to break anything.
Yeah, you don't know where clips are. You don't know where stuff is.
Exactly. Yeah, and when it comes to that kind of delicacy, you really have to know your way around it, because you break one clip, oh man, gotta go to AutoZone, gotta go to O'Reilly, and if it's a special clip, you have to go to Toyota to get it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had to learn. I had to break some clips. There's actually this place in the valley called Spectre Off Road. Have you heard of them?
Spectre Off Road? Yes, I have.
They've been around. They've been around since like the 80s, I think, or maybe before. But they stock all the parts for these things. You can just go in there and go, I need a little clip, little light bulb, all of it. It's pretty amazing.
Now that we're talking about off-road companies, let me ask you this. Because you're a Land Cruiser owner, you must have heard of them. Icon. Sorry.
Yeah. Actually, I bought my little center console thing off Craigslist.
Yes.
Found one on Craigslist, called a guy. Turns out it's at Icon. So I show up and they're like, "Hey."
Like from Jonathan Ford, or?
From like one of his shop foremen or something. But he was like, "Hey, you want to tour around Icon too?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I walked around for a little bit. He wouldn't let me take any pictures or anything, which is,
of course,
I didn't know. I was like, "Oops, sorry." They're like, certain shop level reaches no photos, I guess.
Fun fact about Icon: they actually did Joe Rogan's Land Cruiser.
80 series, like the other one I have. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that was like a nothing hold. They didn't hold back on that one. They did it all.
Well, you got to think about it, because when it comes to these Land Cruisers, the first thing that they do is an LS swap.
They do.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm cool with it, but yeah, in the Land Cruiser community, it's very controversial. People go both ways on the LS swap.
It's going against the holy gospel according to Land Cruiser.
Well, it doesn't bother me. For the record, it does not bother me, because on this one, I mean, you leave LA in any direction, you got to climb a pass. And this is, you're still getting around the semis in like the second lane, but you're definitely not cruising left lane, and that would be nice. So I could see if you had no budget for a resto, why not throw an LS in there?
Oh, well,
but,
of course. I mean, when you have Joe Rogan money, you can do anything.
Well, yeah, you might as well. I mean, you come up below budget if you don't.
So, going back to your Land Cruiser, what are your future plans with it? Do you plan on... of course, we talked about your 5-speed swap already that you're planning.
Maybe, if the transmission blows.
If.
But, no, I think I'm just going to keep driving it. That's pretty much it.
Keep it as a daily.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. If I lift it, it's gonna be very subtle, but just kind of keep it as a daily. Take it on fire roads, that kind of stuff, but nothing too crazy.
It looks to me it's got the perfect profile for a trail riding.
Yeah,
And
nothing too crazy.
It's still comfortable. It's still
No rock climbing or nothing, which is perfectly fine because
you haven't seen his other.
Yeah, you haven't seen the other one. I can open the garage. That one's got the rock sliders and everything.
This is last of a driving breed. We are talking about dailies.
Yes.
I'm just saying when you have the option.
This is the daily.
Well, of course. I mean, you're like Need for Speed Underground. Flip. Oh, I want to race that one today. Oh, I want to race that one today.
No, I mean, I'm not afraid to take it off road. I just with this one I draw the line at just the really intense pinstriping and body damage. Because there's no point in me doing that with this one. But there's like Rower flats up here. There's some places nearby, and sure, yeah, take it up those trails, no problem.
No, of course. I mean, every rig.
You have to every once in a while.
Every rig has a different ability. It just depends on what you build it for, and that your Land Cruiser is a pristine example of daily driving. Calm down.
Yeah.
The other rig you speak of, which we'll probably see down the line, I'm guessing right now it's one of those. Oh yeah, that thing's definitely crossing that.
Yeah, and it's Beauty and the Beast, There's two. One is a street cruiser. You can tell right away.
Exactly.
You can see the difference. So keep it that way. Why not? Because I've been tempted. You see everyone, the first thing they do is like spring over swaps. You lift it just by swapping the spring under the the axle or over the axle. And so yeah, I'm tempted, but I'll stick with the 31s and the all-terrain tires.
I gotta admire your resistance to, because let's face it, as a car person, as soon as you acquire a new car, the first thing you say, I'm not gonna modify it.
Yeah.
A week later, I need a new car because I modified the heck out of this one.
No, I won't promise you that I won't do anything. But
No. We don't need a promise or nothing. Just
but I'm distracted by the aesthetics for a while at least. So
I'm gonna tell you, it's not every day that you see a Land Cruiser, for one, that's as clean as this. Two, that's riding around the streets of North Hollywood, LA, or wherever you go. And then number three is that you don't see many Land Cruisers out on the road nowadays. They're either in the garage, waiting for the next Toyota Fest.
Mm-hmm.
They're
a lot get graduated to weekend warriors for sure, definitely.
Exactly. They're in the yard just waiting to come out on the weekend.
Yeah.
Or they're sadly riding away somewhere.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
And this one was always going too. Even when I look back at the smog history and stuff, it was always on the road. So I think that's part of the reason why it's still running well, because it never got parked.
So have you done any long road trips in it?
Nothing yet. Just up to just like Pismo Beach is the furthest, and then Mexico for the paint job, Tijuana for the paint job.
How was your journey to Mexico?
So that was good. I highly recommend the Mexico paint job, actually.
Where exactly?
So this one, I talked to my buddy, and he was like, "Hey, I got my cousin, and he knows a paint shop down there, and like, they would probably give you a really good deal on the cruiser." And I was like, And I got the quote, and it was a little too good to pass up, so eventually I took him up on it and just dropped it off, and they had it for about, only like a month. And then that's it. Went down to Rosarito, had some margaritas on the beach, and hung out, and drove it home.
Did anybody try? And for the time you were down there, did anybody try and buy it from you?
Not, a lot of people. It turned some heads for sure, but the I think like the guys at the body shop were like, "It's like a Pablo Escobar car." That was like what the go-to comment on it was, the Pablo.
You know what? It is. I can confirm this because the Netflix show Narcos, they do feature this specific model of the Land Cruiser.
Yeah, they have some 60 series in the show, I think.
Yes.
And which is funny, 'cause I don't think they were. Well, South America made a bunch of them, but this one's from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that's the first thing people say. Is, oh, it's a Pablo car. It's a Pablo car.
Of course.
It's like, hey, I'm down. It's cool.
So, when you were down there, did you find any Land Cruiser parts for this? I mean, you kind of figure
Yeah.
if you're gonna be down there, you might as well stock up on some stuff.
Yeah, no, I think most of the good stuff's here in Southern California as far as parts go, because I don't think Mexico. I know they didn't get the 80 series. I'm not sure if they ever got the 60 series to begin with. So,
Okay.
any Land Cruisers down there have been brought down there, which there are quite a few, but they've been a lot of them still have California plates and stuff, and they just drive around. They just drive around anyway.
Of course.
But yeah, it was a really good experience overall. Like I think that I got some quotes here in the Valley for paint, and I heard two things. One, they were a little pricey, and two, I heard that there's like restrictions on what body shops can use on
California's
in some of the counties. Yeah. And a couple of people were just like, hey, the good stuff's in Mexico anyway, so go down there. I was like, huh?
Absolutely. They
that or
they told
Vegas,
us.
Yeah, or just at Arizona or Vegas, something. But I was pretty blown away when it came back. I was definitely, it has its little things, a little bit of overspray in certain spots and stuff, and the wheel wells, but daily driver.
What was the original color on it?
That's still the original.
Really?
Yeah, that's the.
And they managed to color match it, which
pretty well. Yeah, I'll show
which
you
I'm definitely
in the,
impressed.
Yeah, I'll show you in the door jams and stuff where you can see the paint, the lines, but not bad. Yeah,
I completely agree.
Yeah.
About let's put the time frame to a year. How much do you spend on maintenance?
Well, I was keeping track at the beginning because I was thinking maybe I'd flip this thing. You know how it goes, right?
Yeah,
You're like,
absolutely.
got such a good deal. I'm like, oh man, keeping track. But then I stopped. So I don't know. Not much. I mean, I did a couple gaskets on it, oil changes, and a set of tires, and that's about it.
Okay.
There's not. Actually, the 80 series has more maintenance a little bit because of the full-time four-wheel drive system. And you have to do axle seals more often.
Now let me ask you this: between the two, which one would you say is the? I think I think you already answered the question without even me asking it. Which one is the most expensive to
to keep going?
To keep going, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty comparable, but 60 series parts are getting a little hard to find. That's for sure.
My train of thought just got underailed. That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Parts availability. Which one has more of a parts availability?
As far as like used parts and stuff, like door cards and like things that I'm trying to like find to restore it a little bit, that stuff's hard on the 60 series, and it's pretty easy on the 80 because they're in junkyards and stuff. They made way more of them, and or maybe just the 60s were in junkyards years ago because they rusted way earlier and stuff, but who knows. But as far as like wearable parts and stuff, you can still go to the dealer to pretty much get everything. Some stuff you just can't get, and it's just like so long, you find it on eBay or something.
What kind of stuff?
Just like, see the chrome strip under the doors?
Yes.
Those are called snake blinders or something. And apparently those just became like unobtainium in the last couple years.
Oh, wow.
So whatever parts hoarding people had and stuff, now it's down to just like, if you can find a parts car, you can pull them off, but that's about it.
Snake blinders.
Yeah, snake blinders.
Snake blinders. There's the title for the episode.
There you go.
That's a new one. I've never heard of that one.
Oh, yeah. When you're going down the trail,
Snake blinders, yeah.
scare them away.
That sounds like a pretty interesting name for a part.
Yeah. Well, but I have two of them. I got lucky. So mine came with two of them. So.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah. Because, these trucks were like, no one saved them. You see ones that come up with like very few miles, but even like 40,000 miles is like the lowest of the low. Like you won't see them come up with 4,000 miles on Bring a Trailer and stuff. It doesn't really happen. Like the lowest you'll find is someone that parked it after a couple of years and it had like 40,000 on it. But I don't know what the point was, but
No, I completely agree with you because
it's cool that people use them. That's my point. Just like they ran them into the ground. They were just family haulers and stuff. So I think it makes it a little cooler today because, most of them left. Most of them went off the road.
well, I mean, you got to remember the Land Cruiser since the FJ40 series till let's put it at the 80. They've always been a 1 family hauler, 2 off-road rig.
Adventure, yeah.
Exactly.
Not really a collector item.
Actually, no. Yeah,
to
some, exactly. To some, yes, they are highly collectible.
Oh yeah.
But here's the sad part. I have to go into the future a little bit right now. The current Land Cruiser, it just doesn't. It doesn't carry on the heritage that the 40, 60, 80 with. It looks too much like a luxury SUV.
Yeah.
It's not the rough and tough Land Cruiser.
So take a step back though, Mark. When we went through the window list.
Of course.
Are you sure this wasn't a luxury vehicle back in the 80s?
I'm pretty sure
it was getting there. It was starting to.
It was starting to.
Toyota wasn't really known as a luxury brand, of course, at the time. Still seems like very nicely equipped.
Yeah. I think like the luxury they started advertising it as luxury as soon as the 80 series came along.
Mm-hmm.
But these, I mean, this is like something developed in the 70s, the 60 series. And then it came out in like 81, 82 and continued on. So by 88, 89, like they were just kind of slapping like electronics into them and stuff, but they weren't,
but
they weren't
it was
luxury.
still more than a farm implement.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
Far from
these trucks and the I know the Jeeps in the 70s, they were just tractors for the road.
Yep. Yeah, it started to get away from that around.
Yeah, that's what this one says to me. It's definitely more of a car. It's a truck. It's an SUV.
Yeah.
But it's a car. It's comfortable.
Yep. That's why they put the auto in it, and they got rid of the 4-speed, and they were just kind of catering to that Grand Wagoneer crowd.
Well, I mean, like you said yourself, it was competition for the Grand Wagoneers, so they had to adjust to that. They had to adjust to that.
So, and I like it. I think they're good toward the end of the cycles too. Like this is the last couple years of the 60, and I have the last couple years of the 80. They seem like they do little tweaks and stuff, and they end up kind of working out in the end.
So is this do they get better towards the end of the cycle, or?
I think they do. I might be wrong. Some people might completely disagree. But
I know for a fact the Jeeps at the end of when a model gets to the end of its life cycle, they could give it crap.
Really? So they start going downhill.
That goes back to when AMC and when Chrysler picked up Jeep.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's true. Yeah, I had a '76 CJ7, so I could attest to that. Actually, I had this quadra-track 4-wheel drive. It was all wonky and never worked and stuff. So, yeah, I think the cruisers get a little bit refined every year, but they don't take away any of the good stuff that people like. They just sort of add a few little things.
Of course.
So I like them at the end of the cycle for sure.
Yeah, so Toyota doesn't get lazy with them.
No.
That's good.
Yeah, like on the 80 series, it started with like a semi-float axle, and it moved to a full float, and they made a bigger engine, and they put lockers in. So by the end, it was definitely better. How's Tercel parts? Are they easy to find?
What are those? What are those?
Scavenge junkyards, or do you go?
So I have a friend with an '85 4x4 wagon. Mark's been begging just to meet him.
No.
Tells you.
No.
Parts availability for
No.
Don't give him his address. Go rob him.
I have not been wanting to meet him. I've just been waiting for him to bring me into his abyss of vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's got 21 cars in his backyard.
Oh, I did not know that.
I
did not know.
That's Tetris.
I gotta come see that.
That's Tetris for you.
Yeah.
Going back to what you were saying about Tercel parts, well, what are those? You know, I haven't seen those in a long time.
That thing's sweet, man. I saw you got a snorkel on it and everything?
Yes, that is a PVC snorkel because no company in the entire 4 corners of the world makes snorkel for my car.
Shocking, yeah.
So we hit. Well, not really shocking.
No, it's not. I was being sarcastic.
It's not shocking to me because, let's face it, they never thought that a Tercel would go as hard as the way I have taken it, because most of these are from snow and mountain use. Like if you're living out in like Big Bear and you have a driveway, they have to get up in the snow.
Perfect for that.
Yeah, drop it in 4-wheel, extra low gear. You're on your way.
No, I love those things. I have no hate towards those. My neighbor had one growing up, 4-wheel drive, and it was just like his ski car and stuff. And I used to like think it was so weird and old and stuff. But I actually really like it. I've been like eyeing them on Craigslist recently a little bit. Have to admit.
Well,
there's not many of them out there.
No, the story with mine is pretty interesting. Because I had an '89 Toyota van. The
Toyota van. It's called
the
Toyota van.
The Space Cruiser.
Yeah.
Yes. I sold that, and literally the same night that I sold it, about 30 minutes later, I get home from work because I sold it, then had to go back to work for a little bit. I decided, you know what? I'll look on OfferUp, see what's going on. So I look on OfferUp, and there's this little scrappy thing. Busted headlight, busted fender, everything else was complete. So I messaged the guy.
No
I'm
rust
like,
holes or anything?
We'll get to that later.
Yeah. They get it pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, all these old Toyotas.
Of course.
Yeah,
So I messaged the guy, and he asked me, do you want the whole thing or do you want parts? I'm like, wait, what do you mean?
That tells you about parts availability.
Yeah, that answers the original.
Because the reason why he told me that was because, people wanted parts off of it. They wanted a part out. And I'm like, well, first of all, does it run? Oh, yeah, runs and drives. Has tags until February 2020. I'm like, well, how much you want? He's like, $1,200. I'm like, well, I got the cash. Well, I'll see you tomorrow then.
Yeah.
So he gave me the address. I go the next day. I look at it. Had a busted radiator, which I'm like, okay, I'll do it. But I did talk him down. I talked him down all the way to $900.
Nice.
So gave him
runs and drives.
Ran and drive.
Classic '80s Toyota.
Exactly.
in my eyes. Is it yours? Is 4-wheel drive?
4-wheel drive.
4-wheel
6-speed manual with
the range.
Extra low gear. Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's
I gave
cool,
him.
man.
Yeah. So I gave him the cash. Took it home, but then I had to go back because I left my work car over there. Well, the car we were working on at work, left that over there. So I had a friend take me. Boom. Then finally got home. The first thing I did to that car was the fan, because as soon as I tried to test it, it just broke. So I had to adapt a radiator from another car, which worked perfectly. And then I adapted a cooling fan, like one of those slim fans that you just, attach to the...
You didn't even go for the OEM anything.
Here's the thing. I would have had to wait 5 days. I'm like, no, I'm not waiting 5 days. And besides, I had to go see my fiance later that day. So I'm like, you know what? Time to bust that old MacGyver.
Yeah.
I had a MacGyver.
Still running it to this day like that?
Yep.
Nice. Hey.
So, mind you, it had a busted headlight. So I was in a group. I'm in a group on Facebook to sell 4-wheel drive, buy, sell, trade, whatever. I mean, we talk Tercels and all that.
Yeah.
So I got one from a guy, but I had to wait for it to come in. And I'm like, well, I just stuck a light bulb in and just put some zip tie, made it hang, and that was it. Rolled around for a week like that, then put the new assembly on, and then that was it. And like I said, it's a daily driver. I don't care about the gas mileage. I don't care how much gas I have to put in it.
It was $900. You saved
fun.
It on the front end.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun car, especially when it's up. At Azusa, Azusa OHD
We gotta go
Park.
up to the hills sometime.
That would definitely be a good trip there.
You're probably gonna make me want to buy those things. I already do. I already want one of those. It's definitely a guilty pleasure.
No, he's been the hero of Azusa Canyon since he got
Showing them what's up.
He's not lying. Every time we go,
So they have a water crossing for those that don't know, right? It's like 3 feet deep just to get into Azusa, right? So hence the snorkel. Got it.
Here's the crazy part.
It is that creek.
Here's the crazy part,
For
though.
that creek, yeah.
Well, any water crossing, whatever. The bug bit to go off-roading about 2-3 weeks after I got it.
Mm-hmm.
So we loaded up the Tercel. It was me, my brother Jose, his girlfriend Claudia, Brennan. Brennan went as well. Then our friend Tony, he had a Jeep.
He's got a ZJ, Grand Cherokee.
Thank you for the clarification on the model.
Nice. Unibody Jeep. Good.
Yes. With the
Solid axle.
with the 4.0.
Yeah, I gotta go visit Daddy in jail. Jeep.
Oh, come on.
That is the ZJ,
Okay, fine. So
the alimony payment Jeep.
So,
Hey, they work. It's like the new XJ, right?
pretty much.
Yeah.
So we go up there, and I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw that river crossing, I'm like, it's do or die. Mind you, I went up there with street tires, no snorkel. I pretty much was like, you know what? We're already here. Send it.
And how'd that work out?
I was scared bleepless of a crossing, and people were recording me on the other end, and people were recording me on my end. I'm like, here I go, drop it in 4-wheel, extra low. I'm just navigating through that thing, and then when I got to the other side, the people were just in shock and awe, like, wait, this little thing just made this river crossing?
All the dudes in the JKs, all the dudes in the K5s, all the dudes in the
Yeah.
all the dudes in the
All the mutters, like,
He's
what is
he's
that
oh,
thing?
here's a little Subaru, but it's not a Subaru.
Yeah, that's true. They probably like, look
It-
at that Subaru guy.
It gets mistaken for a Subaru Loyale.
Uh-huh.
Because it if you were to do a side by side, it kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
It very much looks like one, Mark.
It's got some
Okay,
similarities.
fine. It much looks like one. So we get to the main play area, and I'm just romping it all over, and people are just like, "What is this thing?" You know,
Yeah.
like here's a scrappy little thing just romping it in the mud, going up and down these hills and everything, and I'm just over here like, this is fun.
Yeah. Is it like an actual low range, or you get like a granny first that you just don't normally use?
Okay, so let me explain the 4-wheel drive system on the Tercel. So it's by Toyota. It is called a 6-speed. It's the regular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reverse, but then they have the EL, which is the extra low gear. But that can only be applied when the 4-wheel drive is dropped.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's no high-low. I guess if you want to consider it high, it's just
Yeah.
when it's out of low, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the high. I guess if you want to call it like that.
So you have two sticks. You have your transmission and your transfer case, right?
If you want to call it a transfer case, yes.
Yeah,
The only
it's a
reason why I
yeah,
say
it's a
that.
transfer case.
The only reason why I say that is because I've read the TSRM, which is the acronym for Toyota Service Repair Manual, and it for some reason it doesn't consider it a transfer case. For some weird reason, it doesn't consider it a transfer case.
So it's a front wheel drive platform, right?
No. Right? Isn't it rear?
No, he's right.
Oh, it's right.
It's a front-wheel drive platform with a rear axle.
With a solid rear axle. That
With
is
a solid rear
so
axle.
weird.
Here's the
Okay.
here's the crazy
And a
part.
transverse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's that. What you just said right there is you're spot on. They transversed the engine so that way it could be 4-wheel drive.
But here's the question though. So you put your transfer case in low.
We'll call it a transfer case. Screw it. We'll call it a transfer
It's
case.
definitely a transfer. I think it is.
So you have use of your granny gear, the EL gear.
Yeah, only in 4-wheel
Only
drive,
in
of course.
four.
But do you still have the other 5 gears?
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's low range.
Yeah. It's just like an unlocking of.
You just
It's
happen
just-
to have this
yeah.
extra low.
But it's kind of cool because you don't have to be like, you don't have to decide like I'm in low now for the rest of this
Yeah.
trail. You can just sort
course.
of use it when you need it.
Exactly.
It's kind of cool.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah.
The other thing is with the Tercel is that even though it has the 65 horsepower, it does crazy things like nobody can imagine. Like, for instance, Brennan was there for this. The little rock crawling that we did with that thing.
Which one?
The one where you were directing me.
Oh yeah,
the small little patch.
Up on 3 wheels.
The small little patch. No, the small little patch. You know the small little patch of rocks.
That car is well designed. That car is geared to make the full use of that power, and that's what it's about.
The only thing is you really have to pick your line.
That's
and open diffs, right? Like you don't have any limited slip differentials or anything.
No, he doesn't.
No. And that's what even
fine.
makes it crazier.
Yeah, you need that in something like in a $900. Yeah, you need that. Just send it. Go up hills.
It's how I can keep up in my 2-wheel drive truck.
Yeah.
When we go, because I got a limited slip.
Yeah, but you have the locker.
Limited slip. It's not a locker.
Okay, correct.
That's
And
good. At least not 1-wheel drive fully.
It lights it up in the rear.
Yeah.
Rear end gets loose. It's a tow rig is what the truck is.
well, I mean, you did
It
pull.
just so happens to be nice off road, have that rear end traction.
Yep.
I know he doesn't want to say anything because he's too modest, but he did pull out a 4x4 Super Duty Ford that was stuck in that river crossing
Nice.
because it was a novice driver, and he pulled him out, and we recorded it. He called out Elon Musk to bring out the Cybertruck to Azusa, which Elon Musk, if you are listening to this, please, that offer is still on the table, please.
He's kind of busy fighting Alameda County right now.
Well, actually, let's hope he doesn't get arrested
Yeah.
because he did say that he's opening up back again. He's going to be on the line, and I quote, "If anybody gets arrested, let it be me." I'm like, you know what? Props to him.
I have a newfound respect for the man.
I agree.
Someone will
100%.
bail
I
him
didn't
out.
care for him so much before this, but I'll give him that.
I agree 100%.
But that was just trash
got
talking Instagram.
Tesla orders
No, but
promised.
you make a good point though. I mean, that was a beautiful call out. I gotta agree. Let's see if that's.
No, it wasn't because no one except you and me remembers it.
I do. And that's we okay now. We do. All of us, all three of us do. So that's all that counts.
Anyway,
Back to the Land Cruiser. We went to.
Yeah. Well, I
Started
need
at
some
the Land
background.
Cruiser,
I haven't
and then-
listened to the podcast, so I need some Tercel background and some.
The latest trail that I did was Lytle Creek.
Uh-huh.
So it's quite of a climb up there.
I've never been up there actually, but I know a lot of people go when it snows. Everyone hits Lytle Creek.
We were there when it snowed.
Yeah.
So it was definitely fun.
Yeah. That's good.
There's video of it, but I'm going up one of the rocky trails up, and my undercarriage took a beating. But I'm like, you know what? This is what it's meant for.
It was born for that.
Of course. I mean, like I tell everybody, for one, it's not every day you see a Toyota Tercel 4-wheel drive. Second, it's not every day that you see it keeping up with these K5 Blazers, these big Jeeps, these big rigs.
And daily.
And it's a daily drive.
You gotta get to work
Yeah,
with that
yeah,
thing on
exactly.
Monday.
That's the impressive part is if you break it, you're walking to work.
You gotta piece it together with parts in your.
I will not plead the fifth on this because I will tell the truth. It has broken, but I will explain. First time we went up to, it was the first time we went up to Azusa. The front axle broke. The front passenger side axle broke.
So how does that work then? If you're front wheel drive, you can put it in 4 and get home.
Ding ding ding! We have
Nice.
a winner, and right when I said that,
Right when
the
the
lemon
lemon's
dropped.
falling. Missed me.
Good, but yeah, that's how I got home. I
Yeah.
dropped it in 4-wheel drive and took
That's
the rear.
pretty impressive.
Took the rear wheels home.
Yeah.
Been more reliable than the Jeep that goes up with us too.
Oh no! Don't call him out like that. Come on now, that's not nice.
I'm not shocked.
Be nice. Be nice. Hey,
That's a lie.
it's gotten home though.
I haven't had to run to Azusa on a parts run for your Tercel yet.
We got to make that happen.
What, the Azusa trip or the parts run for me?
One will come after the other.
All right, so when I went to work the next day, I told my boss, "Hey, I'm here, but I'm not here." He's like, "Okay, I don't have to pay, so it's all good. Here was the damage count: one passenger side axle, and both strut mounts on top. But I think the strut mounts were broken before, so
Yeah.
it's half a point for that.
All right. Yeah.
It was a $900 used car. They were broken when you bought it.
I'm pretty sure they were. I'm not gonna.
Were
deny
they
it.
just like busting through the strut tower?
No. Here's the thing. As soon as I dropped the strut casing, it just fell. Both of them just. I'm like, that's not supposed to. What are they? Are they quick release or something like that? No, they're not. So got them fixed. Everything's good. Since then, knock on wood, I have not broken anything,
Nice.
which is good. Because if I did, I'd probably have to wait like 2 or 3 weeks for a new part.
Yeah.
Depending on the part, though.
That's why you need a backup to your 30-year-old daily. I find that it can't be your only.
Yeah.
It's not always perfectly.
Even with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you have to have a backup.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
Or at least a bus pass, maybe.
I got my Dodge Patas. I'm good.
Is that bus pass?
No, Dodge Patas.
Oh.
Patas is Spanish for feet. So
Oh,
your Dodge feet.
Nice. Yeah. Your Chevrolegs.
That was no ill will towards your Jeep, of course.
My Jeep?
Dodge Jeep. It's all the same family, man.
No, it's not.
They're all under the same moniker.
Usually, at most points in
your
history, they are.
Is the same as a Natasha's Lexus.
You can't compare an off-road vehicle to a non-off-road
Can't compare
vehicle.
a Dodge to a Jeep. That's all I'm saying. But
Okay, that one slipped out.
Which Dodge do you have? You have
it's a 3/4 ton V10. It's the Twister truck.
Oh yeah,
Bill
I
Paxton
love that truck.
in single cab form.
Which, by the
Nice.
way,
Single
is
cab.
which, by the way, is the anniversary today for that film. So yes.
Oh, I love that film.
I remember that film when I was young.
Is it red?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
No, it's the same red,
Oh,
same
yeah.
wheels, long
Sweet.
bed.
Just missing Dorothy.
Yeah. Well, Paxton Mobile. There's a guy on Facebook who replicated the whole truck.
Oh yeah, I've seen that guy. Yeah,
Yeah. He's selling the whole rig right now.
What?
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, $10,000
Ooh.
for. But his is.
But you can get the
his
Dorothy.
He's got the 1-ton crew cab. The truck is clean.
Yeah, I heard.
same
Is it
V10.
true that is like some debate whether it was the 1-ton or the 3/4 ton? Like it switched halfway through the movie, or,
Or if
something?
it's a diesel or a
Yeah,
V8.
like something.
They used. I mean, obviously, you have the hero car, and then you have whatever.
Yeah.
They just.
They're
throw
just
in
kinda
front of the
close.
camera. The truck was supposed to be a single axle crew cab 1-ton with a V10.
Mm-hmm.
Chrysler was showcasing the Magnum 8 liter. So it was supposed to be V10. It was supposed to be 1-ton. Just so happens that the 3/4 ton has the same axles and same wheels. So,
Okay.
yeah, my truck's got the same wheels and it's the same color. It's very close to
Nice. Yeah.
the hero truck.
Yeah, those trucks are good. The only problem the dash plastics kind of disintegrate on you after a little while.
Oh, he could tell you
I'm sure it's
stories about that.
I hate to bring it up. All Dodge
No,
owners
no,
know
it
this
was,
stuff.
it was a shock. It's my third truck. I had a 76 and an 86, both half-ton Dodges,
Mm-hmm.
and the dashes on both of them were immaculate, perfect. Southern California trucks, not even a hairline crack in them. I get this thing, and there's a dash cover,
Mm-hmm.
and I got it cheap enough. I wasn't asking questions about it, so I lift the dash cover up after I get it, and it's okay. It looks like a desert. It is all cracked up.
Yeah, yeah.
It disintegrated the first time I went to Azusa Canyon.
Oh.
I no longer have a dash cover.
Well, at least it
longer
went
have a
out
dash.
like.
That's your tow rig. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those trucks. You don't really see them too much anymore. The Dodges.
You don't.
I see more of the old Chevys and.
The second gens, I still see them all
You
the
do?
time. They're still. We just did a cruise on Saturday. Like that's still like the regular fleet or the second gen
Really?
Rams. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love those old fleet vehicles like that when they keep them around.
That's right.
Yeah, that's like a Southern California thing. You don't see it. in any other states where they keep like 25-year-old fire chief trucks and stuff.
Either that, or
They
they're
don't
just
rust away too bad.
either that, or they're just hiding.
In a lot of states, they get rusted out real fast.
Right, yeah.
They're service trucks.
Work
and
trucks. Course.
They're on a, they're on a pretty big budget, so they one little rust hole, and this truck's going to auction. Buy them another one.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine. She's a police officer down Polk County, Georgia. She recently sent me some photos of their fleet, and they have 2 K5 Blazers, one gas and one diesel.
Have you seen those
They're square bodies.
Those Fleet K5s? They have like factory roll bars and stuff and winches and stuff, right?
That's exactly.
Or is that the later one?
No, that's exactly what she showed me. I'm like, yes.
That's so cool. Yeah, you gotta find. How do you pinpoint the moment when they finally get rid of those old fleet vehicles? Because that's what you want. They've been serviced forever.
That's a good question. That is a very good question. When do you?
In my experience with, I've bought a few like ex-service like police vehicles.
Oh yeah.
It's usually when they start making something you can't just take care of maintenance
or parts availability.
They go through maintenance. Well, so the Tahoe PPV I bought 2 years ago.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I see those come up.
Yeah, it was a perfectly fine vehicle, but it was making trying not to make noise. It was making a bearing noise in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's not
right.
Yeah, that's not routine maintenance, so they just get rid of it and buy another one. And that's Oregon State Police.
A new fleet service manager over there.
It actually turned out being a center cap. I just threw a couple of machine screws in it, and it's like, oh, okay, I can safely.
Maybe they're just looking for an excuse to get the newer, better one anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
They got the budget cap, and they're just
reason to upgrade.
Makes sense.
So now my boss drives, and it's his daily now. Is that PPV?
What's it like driving an ex-cop car? Everyone slowing down in front of you. And
it's
everything?
very nice if you want to do 90 miles an hour everywhere. Because the cops don't bother you.
And do people get out of your way, or do they just slow in front of you?
So this was an Oregon State Police vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I drove all the way to Portland to get it. Everyone drives slow in Oregon, but it's nice because the Oregon State Police, they have a particular color for their livery. It's like it's a very, very dark blue.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Purpley blue, but kind
of like Michigan's.
It's not a civilian. You don't see this color driving by a Chevy dealership or a GMC dealership.
So people know right away.
So at least in Oregon, people know that color and they know to watch for it.
Yeah,
which was nice. We didn't get pulled over driving into Klamath Falls, but the girl I was dating was riding with me. We drove up in her brother's WRX, and the WRX was following us, and we're like, we got to get back to LA. We have 12 hours. We're in Central Oregon. Let's just go.
Just cannonball it.
I grew up driving the highway, so I'm like, we're just gonna go. So we're doing 90. Cop sees us, doesn't pay attention to us, but as soon as he sees the WRX, that was game over for.
Really?
Yeah.
So he just deliberately was like, "I'll take you."
We pull over. I reverse back like 100 yards to get to him, and he's like, "You go on." I'm like, "No, he's actually with us. We're trying to get out of here."
Probably thought you were some like state inspector or something. Like, I'll let him go. He's working.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was nice. California didn't seem to quite get it. Nevada didn't seem to quite get it for the brief couple hours we were in Nevada coming down. But yeah, no, I think they just looked for any excuse to get rid of a service vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I love them. Sometimes
a loose center cap. That'll do it. I presume.
I guess so. You got lucky.
Absolutely.
At least it wasn't like, I don't know.
It was like $4,000 for a Tahoe PPV with 100,000 miles on it.
Oh,
now, explain what is PPV?
Police pursuit vehicle.
Okay, that was for you, audience. You're welcome.
Yeah. It just had steel wheels. It was all-wheel drive. Had
nice.
Whatever the PPV tune is. I think I looked it up. It's like 400 horsepower.
What year was it?
2013.
Oh wow!
You know,
that's a great deal for a 2013.
Uh-huh.
You know, for a minute there, I thought you were talking about one of the old
No. This is a.
Yeah.
It still looks like a brand new truck.
The reason why I say that is because recently I was surfing the Facebook, as we call it, and I came across a set of pictures of 90s Suburban, with the rectangular headlights.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there was one that was used, that's owned by a civilian now, used and retired by the Secret Service, and apparently it had like a 700, 800 horsepower engine, like from Legan.
Langenfeld.
There we go. Thank you.
Langenfeld.
Thank you. Yes.
Wow.
And apparently it was a daily driver.
That would be cool to see.
Oh man, it was black on the outside, of course, and then it had the gray interior.
Yeah. I saw another Secret Service truck recently. I saw a Ford E-Series van.
Oh, the Econoline.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was 4-wheel drive. It was a communications van for the Secret Service for like Clinton.
Did it have a pizza delivery on the side?
That's actually funny. No, it's just black on black and just. I think they wanted like way too much money for it, but I was like, that would be so cool to make into like a little camper overlander or something.
Everything's there for. It's a perfect.
I know.
It's the perfect. What's the word I'm looking for? Foundation.
Yeah.
It's a perfect foundation.
Yeah, I think it had like a high top and all that stuff.
Brings me to another question. Back to the Land Cruiser. Did it ever cross your mind to make that into a overlander vehicle or a living for a couple of weeks down in the desert, down in the forest?
The back is huge for that. Yeah. Actually, I think the trunk is a little bigger in the 60 than it is in the 80, which is just weird because it's a smaller truck on the outside. Mm. But no, I definitely. I mean, every time I see like a used ARB bumper come up on Craigslist or something, I think about it, or like a lift kit or something. But I'm satisfied with the trail rig as is, so I'm good with that. Build a sleeping platform in there or something one day, and
either that or just say screw it, buy one of those $1,000 rooftop tents.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet. But those are, they're kind of like.
You can make one yourself. That's.
Could you?
That's. I mean,
you could just put a tent on a roof with a rack on it.
I mean, exactly. Either that or you just make one yourself. You just get waterproof material or whatever and just make it yourself. That's another ability.
You don't even need to make the tent. You just need to make the support system.
That's what I was getting into.
That just has to be almost a clamshell design where it just folds up over. You have legs and then you have basically like an 8x8 or a 10x8.
You see, that's exactly what I was going. That's what I was going around.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the ones you buy are so expensive that I'm like, guys like us, we're looking at old used stuff. I'd almost rather have like an old pop-up trailer that I like put a lift kit on, and like that's how much these things cost. They're like a couple $1,000s for a tent on your roof.
A pop-up trailer. That's the ticket.
Yeah,
that's the ticket for that rig.
Yeah,
that would be perfect.
Because then you get, and then also it's better anyway. You can leave it at camp and you can go off roading and come back. You don't have to have a 400-pound thing on your roof.
No, that's true.
That's exactly what that's exactly what the Land Cruiser is, isn't it? That's the ideal go for a couple weeks camping.
Yeah, exploration vehicle for sure. Especially if you want to go a couple different countries, because
especially with what's going on right now, we all need a camping trip.
Yeah, we all need a bug out vehicle now.
Oh man, but yeah, I definitely agree with the pop-up trailer. It fits the look.
Yeah, or like one of those little army trailers or something cool. Exploration trailer.
Funny thing is, get one from surplus, you're good.
Yeah, that's true too. You can go out to San Bernardino and stuff, all those places, the army surplus.
Yeah, but as soon as you see the trailer, you're gonna want the Humvee that goes
I
with
know. That's true. It won't really look as good behind a Land Cruiser.
Well, I mean, that's what we got Cal for, right?
Yes.
I mean, he does work on them for a living.
He does now, yeah.
There you go. When it comes to the Land Cruiser, have you been to any other like meetups or gatherings?
Yeah.
Full of Land Cruiser people?
Oh yeah, I'm like, I'm way too obsessed with the Land Cruiser community at this point. Just I've gone to, they do turf and surf in Pismo Beach.
Wow.
Every year. You should go. You should bring the turfs out.
I'm down.
It's usually November, so we'll see what happens this year. But it's just like a giant Land Cruiser meetup. Everyone just brings their Franken cruisers, show cruisers, all kinds of stuff. But it's definitely smaller than the Jeep community by far, which I kind of like. I think that's. But they have events, they have a Moab one. They do a couple different good cruiser meetups and stuff.
Smaller is better.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Would you trust?
But I like Jeeps.
Would you trust this one to make it out to Moab?
Yeah, as soon as I fix, it's still on the original radiator, and it has like a little bit of a leak I've been putting off for a little while. But yeah, I could do that. Why not? It cruises really nice on the highway, actually. AC still works on this thing, and not bad. This no cruise control, but you get a throttle cable. I don't know why, so you can kind of makeshift cruise control it if you want.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hand throttle.
Yeah, it's like
Hand
I think
throttle,
it's
there
for
we
if you have a winch or something.
Like my dad's YJ has a hand throttle.
Oh wow.
It's 5 seat. It's if say you're up on a rock.
Mm-hmm.
You're on a say 55 degree incline. You got your left foot in on the clutch and your right foot on the brake. How do you slip that clutch? Now you and I both know how to heel and toe. A little bit more difficult
On a hill, yeah.
On a hill and
Giant
a Jeep with that pedal layout. So hand throttle, it's just a bicycle cable mounted to this little. It's almost like a toggle switch on the shifter. So you put it in first and you just give it a couple revs to slip that clutch as you let off the brake.
Yeah, brake and clutch.
So you're operating gas, brake, and clutch at the same time.
You just gave me another idea for the Tercel.
Yeah, you gotta get that. The manual guy's gotta get creative
And then those usually come with like a. It's not. My dad's doesn't have a butterfly, a wing nut, but you can cinch that down in place.
Mm-hmm.
So you get up into fifth gear, and you've got so much slack in the hand throttle. You pick it up, cinch it down. There's your cruise control.
Yeah.
You can do it with this one too, even though it's not a.
Yeah. No, I'm not badass enough to off-road a manual. Those guys are like with the hand. You gotta get like a hand throttle, or you gotta have like the lowest of the lowest gears, or else you're just gonna wear out your foot all day trying to get going again.
That's why they only do about 10 miles every 3 days.
Yeah.
That's true.
Have you ever seen? Speaking of this old school Toyota off-roader guys,
Go right ahead.
The a lot of like the first gen 4Runner guys and stuff, they'll use their actual starter motor, and they'll put it in first, and they have such low gears and double transfer cases and stuff, and they'll just go nee, 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 and they'll just climb up a rock on the starter motor.
You ever listen to Car Talk?
Yeah,
that was
back
actually
in
one
the day.
One of the puzzle like the riddles with a Volkswagen bus.
Oh, really?
How did they slide up? It was that exact same thing.
Yeah, it's probably just an old school trick, but it works if you have
yank the coil wire.
Yes.
And run it on the starter.
Yeah, just climb up it.
Then
hybrid.
I can guarantee you.
Yeah, it is.
I can guarantee you guys that was how crawl control was born.
Yeah, maybe.
In the newer Toyota vehicles, that is an option.
Yeah.
So I got to give it to the technology, but at the same time, it's better to use driver mod. Driver mod's always going to trump any electronic.
Far more satisfying.
When you make it up in a Tercel with open diffs and stuff, yeah, I could see that. It's a little more rewarding. I mean, I've seen it. It goes on all levels too. Like I show up at the trail with my beat up 80 series, but then there'll be a guy with a $250,000 like Jeep with a Hemi and stuff, and so it goes on all levels. You can always level up a little bit with something cheaper.
Here's something that I learned when I got into off-roading.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the people that build their rigs to crazy dollar amounts, they're the ones that never want to break anything. They're too careful. They're too Madonna.
Yeah. Depends.
But then you got bleep boxes like me.
Yeah.
Screw it, send it.
This goes back to you're running 65 horsepower. You're not gonna break your ring gear.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
These guys are doing.
And how big are the wheels? They're like
20. They're 14-inch wheels
they're
with
VW bus tires.
14-inch
so
wheels with 27-inch tires.
27s. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not stressing anything. These guys that are doing those builds are all running supercharged LSs or third gen Hemis. They might have like a Dana 60 differential, but they're also shock loading it with 800 foot-pounds of torque at a time.
40s and
like they're gonna
it's a slippery slope though.
They're doing stuff. They're doing high mechanical stress stuff that you're not.
Yeah. But you just upgrade and then you break something and then you have to go upgrade it to a stronger part. And then
of course.
It's actually why I'm actually really happy you have the Tercel, because you don't have to worry about that. You just have to learn how to drive.
Lines.
These guys don't know how to drive.
The lines. It's all in the lines. It's all in the lines pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You pick the best line, you're fine.
And traction.
Well, I mean, traction is king, as you said.
Yeah, with 65 horsepower, you got plenty of traction.
Yeah, you're down here at sea level. No excuses.
Of course.
The Tercel. I want one.
Oh, there you go. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks to us. Recently, I got hit up with an invitation. I don't know if you two know this, but some place called Dishpan.
Mm-hmm. That's on my list. That's on my short list.
You got the Tercel.
Wait, hold.
Up in Big Bear.
Sorry,
no, not down here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're up there all day.
Yeah, I grew up jeeping and trail riding and four-wheeling and stuff. Just I don't know the spots down here. That's all I'm saying.
What can you tell me about Dishpan? Because somebody said that they wanted me to come over and try Dishpan.
Yeah, that one I don't recommend the Tercel doing. But
okay,
there's only like 2 or 3 like real rock crawling trails in Big Bear where kind of need like a pretty built rig, and that's one of them. Dishpan, John Bull, and Holocomb Creek, and those are big boulder kind of things. But up there in Big Bear, there's so many trails with just like big rutted out areas without the big boulders that Tercel would kill it up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one I heard about called that's the reason why I heard about it is because apparently it's part of this program with Jeep where if you conquer it, they'll send you a badge of honor.
Yeah.
The one I'm talking about is Gold Mountain, I think.
Yeah, I've done that one. Yeah. That's a good one.
What would you say the from 1 being easy as heck or 10 being you're gonna die? What would you rate that as?
I think that's about like a 7 out of 10 maybe on hard. I don't know.
Would you recommend the Tercel?
Maybe not the Tercel. You might be able to make it in reverse going down. But
okay, I'll take that.
There's some of the waterfalls that are pretty big. You kind of need a little bit of extra breakover angle, I think.
You mean like big as far as like the incline?
Just like ledges.
Oh, snap.
You
so
need more suspension travel.
You need a lift, maybe a lift kit, solid axle swap for the Tercel.
We'll get some cutting boards. We'll chop up some cutting boards. Make you some.
We could build you a bridge. Yeah, you can always stack rocks.
Either that or
we'll be out there all day.
But I was gonna say we'll start just lifting it with cutting boards.
So
that's how we did it back north.
So under the struts.
Either that or just put it on a 4x4 chassis.
Yeah. Has anyone done that yet in the group?
Okay, so not a Tercel, but my very good friend Justin Paul. He's from Rockland, California, which is close to Sacramento. Mm-hmm. You're never going to believe this, but he himself built an 88 Toyota Cressida, and it's on a 4x4 chassis.
Nice.
It's running the 3-point slow engine.
So it's like a 4Runner chassis or something?
I believe so. I never asked what chassis it was. But I do know this. It's the 3-point slow
or 3-point blow, depending on head gasket status.
However, he's running the optional factory TRD supercharger.
Ooh.
So he used to work for Toyota, so he could have gotten all these parts.
Yeah.
So he's running that. He's got Marlin crawler, dual transfer case. This thing is no joke. As far as other Toyota 4x4s, the craziest one, that's the craziest one I've seen. And like I said, he did it all himself, wiring, built it, and everything. Just lock, stock, and barrel, pretty much.
That's cool. I wonder if it's like, I've always wondered with those truck car things if they're heavy, because you're taking a unibody car and then you're putting it on a truck chassis. So does it end up like a car and a half in weight?
You know, I gotta ask him that next time I talk to him.
You know, in a sense though, if you put it on on a chassis,
Yeah.
just makes it more stiff.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely gonna be burly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Definitely.
I'm sure
burly.
it weighs a bit more, but in a sense, it's gonna be like weight in all the right places because all the added weight's down low.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta get them down here. We gotta go off roading.
Yes, I am definitely down for that.
Cool.
Which brings me to another question. From what I heard, what's today's date, Brennan?
The 11th.
Okay, the 11th.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's May 11th.
May 11th.
The great state of California is supposed to open up on the 15th, which in turn means Azusa might be open. So,
yeah.
if you guys want, we could.
I'm in.
Watching the situation, but sure.
Perfect.
I'm in. Some of the trails, the desert's still open. You can't close the desert.
You can't close the desert.
So you can still go out there depending on how far you want to go. But
I will say this though, there are some trails out in San Bernardino County that are still open.
mm-hmm.
Well, San Bernardino County's opening up right now.
I was there this weekend, and yes,
Yeah.
I can confirm that.
I think off-roading is a good social distancing activity anyway.
It is the best.
As long as you don't start breaking parts, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, that's never fun.
And then it runs under the truck trying to...
especially when it's your only car, and when it's your daily driver, and when it's your only place you get to work.
Yep.
Like me, but I've chosen that life, which is fun.
Just gotta get the AAA with the 100-mile limit, you know.
Oh no! Here's the thing. Here's my setup. I work at auto repair shop, so obviously tools galore. I run nothing but Milwaukee, so they have this called the pack out system, which is pretty much their version of toolboxes. Every weekend I stuff those toolboxes full, go wherever I need to go.
Yeah.
I don't need no tow truck. What's a tow truck?
Dodge Ram 2500.
Yeah.
That
follows you everywhere.
That would do it.
No.
No, you're right. Sometimes I have to pull you too from the front.
Well, I
You've only done that. Wait, hold on. No, hold on. Wait, was that you that did it when I broke my axle? No, wait. Yeah.
No. That was a Jeep I had to pull out from deep in Azusa. I don't think I've had to actually pull you. I'm just
Did it make it back over the creek with the broken axle?
Okay, I'll explain that one. It made it up Second Creek with the broken axle, just in rear wheel drive. But they didn't want me to risk it on the first creek, so I'm like, yeah, just pull me. It's okay. I made it past the tough one. It's all good.
They didn't want to go swim over to you to get to attach to the rope.
Yep. And then
Makes sense.
I remember we went one weekend, and it rained like crazy that whole week, so the water level went up. I remember that the water was close to my window height.
Oh yeah.
And my snorkel just worked perfectly.
That's badass.
You know, it's when you have a daily driver, there's three things that come with it. One, ingenuity. Two, your passion for it, because to have a daily driver, you really have to be passionate about it in every single way. Because if you're not passionate about it, then why even daily a classic? You're better off just
2001 Corolla or something.
Oh no, that's good. Wait, can we consider that a classic yet? 25 and older, Brandon?
No, that's not even close to 25 years.
No, but I'm talking about that generation Corolla.
So
no sealed beam headlights or anything. I don't know.
This has been an ongoing debate since we started the podcast. Is what is an classic?
Okay.
What defines an classic?
What's your definition of a classic?
I'm not even sure that it's age at this point. I think it's all aesthetic and design.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the insurance companies debate over this too, because I just got this thing approved for classic car insurance.
Through who, if you don't mind us asking?
State Farm. It's just like their classic part. You just name your price, and I figured after I got it painted, maybe it's worth something. I'll tell them.
Really?
Tell them what it's worth. But, it's not technically it's not my daily driver according to the insurance company. But hopefully Jake's not listening.
hey, discount double check.
Yeah. But that, I tell you what, once you can get it on the classic policy, do it, because it's cheap and name your price, all that stuff. But they don't. It's not every car. That's what I was getting at.
Let me get into this. With great classic car insurance comes great responsibility, of course. Let's put a hypothetical. Let's say hypothetically I were to get classic car insurance from Haggerty.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to do everything I do out there, right? I would have to strictly daily drive it.
I don't think that's the case.
You can use it for leisure, and that's the whole point.
No, well, I mean, I understand that completely. It's just I kind of figured that one day, like I said, hypothetically,
Yeah.
Tercel rolls over with Haggerty Insurance. Knock on wood.
It's coming. I'm feeling it.
I give him a call. Hey, I rolled my car over. What were you doing? Off-roading?
I don't.
I'm gonna leave that part out.
I don't think off-roading is really against their thing. They care more about like theft. Most insurance fraud isn't. I accidentally rolled my car over, and here's pictures of my car rolled over, because that's your car rolled over. The reason why I can't get Haggerty on the bus
because you don't have a garage.
I don't. It's way more expensive for me to get storage for a high roof.
Yeah. High roof.
Yeah, it's the high roof. In most insurance fraud, especially with classic cars, is my car disappeared. Now I want my $30,000 check because my car disappeared, and your buddy now has the car, and he's got another car, and he's swapping VINs on it. That's what the insurance companies don't want to deal with.
Oh,
so I think that's more their concern.
They're more
than
sniffing around the theft stuff, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think they're more concerned.
I think so too. Yeah, I think they realize that if you have a classic car, because now it's like an elite classification. But
that and then obviously racing is a different situation. If you're
of course
you put your car on a drag strip and you hit a wall, they don't necessarily want to deal with that.
Of course they won't.
But I think off-roading, for one, it's going to be difficult to roll your Tercel over.
I do have an inclinometer, so.
Oh yeah, you do.
Well, okay. To explain that, my model didn't come with one because it was the DLX.
Oh.
It only and the second thing. Oh wait, hold on. What am I saying? Mine's an '88, which was the last year they were ever built. The ones from '83, '84, '85 came with an inclinometer.
Oh.
But not 86 through 88. So one day, found one at the junkyard all the way in Ontario. I remember it was
That's a score.
It was a Saturday. It was a Saturday afternoon. I just got off work at around 3:30. Junkyard closes at 5. Mind you, I'm here in Van Nuys. Junkyard's all the way in Ontario.
Yeah.
I was doing 75 in that thing the whole time. I got there with 30 minutes left. Took me about 10 to get the inclinometer off with the wiring. 5 minutes to pay, and I was gone. It was like 40.
And the cruiser heads are onto those things too. They strip those out.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, big time.
It's funny you mention that because there was a bunch of Land Cruiser guys that were asking me, hey, how much you want for that thing?
Yeah.
I just picked this thing up for my car. No, you're not. What do you want a Tercel part anyway?
Yeah, because in a lot of the JDM ones came with those things on the cruisers, but never in the U.S. for some reason. They didn't think we were worthy, but they did for the Tercel. So.
Sorry.
So I don't know.
Is it a native fit from the Tercel into the cruiser?
No, but it's kind of it's sort of like a pod that sort of sticks on top of the dash, right?
Correct. It's a pod.
Yeah, so you can kind of just
screw it in.
Stick it in there,
yeah. Yeah, and then the only thing that's electrical, about it is you engage the 4-wheel drive. No.
Oh, it has the little 2 and 4 logo on it for.
No, so my inclinometer is 4-wheel drive. It's 4-wheel drive, and it has a diagram of the 4 wheels. There's the front 2 are always green, but they're not lit. They're just a very solid green that you can see it. And then there's a pod for pitch, and there's another pod for roll, but they're both mechanical. So then there's the one where it tells you to engage in 4-wheel drive. You engage it, and it lights up. The whole thing lights up like, oh, you're in 4-wheel drive. Now, the pitch and roll, like I said, is mechanical, but you're probably wondering how does it move? No, it doesn't, because there's actually a little lock mechanism where you can lock it, and it's not going to move every single time you turn.
You say mechanical, aren't they just floating
Little gyro.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, little gimbal gauges.
Correct. So technically it's mechanical because...
So you can lock it so it's not always...
Correct.
Huh.
Correct.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, I got the little one, like the little sailing one from Amazon with the ball.
If you want me to find you a Tercel one,
let
let
me
me
know.
know.
If you find one, I'll go book it down to Ontario. Why not?
Oh no, not in Ontario. On my group. I will find you one on my group so you can rock on yours. I don't know what your preference is. If you want a Tercel one, if you want one from a 4Runner, because the 4Runner.
Yeah, the 4Runner ones too.
The 4Runner one is different. Here's why.
Because it's not front drive.
No. Here's the thing. There's 3 pods. There's still the one for pitch and the one for roll, but there's one for the altimeter, so it tells you what how high you are. Not 420 wise though.
You're still gonna have to figure that out for yourself.
Exactly. No, but I think the if we were to compare the Tercel and the 4Runner one, it's kind of hard to choose, believe it or not, because one tells you when you're in 4-wheel drive or not, and then the other one tells you how high you are. If you can only mix the two together, that'd be great.
Yeah, you need both.
You kind of need both.
Yeah, you need. Well, so do you have a different? Yours comes stock with a different gauge that tells you when you're in 4 and when you're not.
That is a stock one on your cluster.
Oh yeah. So it's on the cluster. Yeah.
It's on the cluster. There's like 2 rows of lights, like your warning lights, but then there's one light that tells you when you're in 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm. I love all that 80s 4-wheel drive stuff.
And you know what?
I don't know why.
A lot of it's interchangeable.
Yeah.
A lot of it's interchangeable. Well, when it comes to you big boys, it's interchangeable. With me, no. Good luck.
Yeah, you're on your own for parts.
I'm a weird one. Yes, I will say that. I'm a weird one.
Yes.
You have solid axle, which is king in Toyota. Mm-hmm. But then you have the IFS, which is the independent front. Yep. I think it's called. Is it independent front suspension for that one? Okay, then good. Because I know. Because no. Because I know on 90s Toyota trucks.
Yeah.
It's not straight. It's now axles.
Oh yeah. So it's switched. Different years it switched. For the Land Cruisers, they were solid axle until through 97. 98 was the first year of IFS. 4Runners, I think it was like 80. 85 I think was the first year of the IFS on that 4Runner.
I always thought that they were I thought the first gen was solid.
No, it switched. It definitely it switched.
Oh, it did.
Either 85 or 86 it switched and
okay.
And then, you had the big skid plate on the front.
Okay.
Versus the big axle.
It's a good thing that Land Cruiser never came out with IFS in this era.
Yeah. No, I know, and that's what we love about them. It's just old, straight axle.
Another thing that caught my attention when I was looking at your Cruiser, that it's like you mentioned, it's EFI. I'm so used to seeing those engines carbureted.
Yeah, in 88, this is the first year of the EFI.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
The ones with the round headlights, those are all carbureted 4-speed manual. And the ones with the 4 headlights, they're all EFI automatic in the US.
Okay.
Yep. But I think I like the EFI. I mean, you have a carburetor. It doesn't give you too much trouble.
I'm running a Weber 38 right now. No, not too much trouble, to be honest with you.
How about carb life for you? Not too bad?
Well, my next bus is Bosch fuel injected. I'm going to leave it Bosch fuel injected.
Yeah.
Fuel injected is the way to go. It's just
better. It's always better.
Funny thing is, the Supra was also Bosch fuel injected.
Really?
The 82 to 85 Supra, the MK2.
Jetronic?
Yeah. Believe it or not, it was Bosch.
So the Supra has a Volkswagen bus fuel injection system?
Don't go that far, please. Not everything is VW life.
Bosch makes parts for every car.
I'm just saying. Toyota's running Volkswagen tires.
It's
true,
It was not Volkswagen tires.
You need an air-cooled engine in that
grabber.
thing next.
No. No. This right here is for life. It's Toyota. It's the TEQ logo on my arm.
Nice.
Because I am for life.
You see, does the Tercel have those all over? A little Easter egg, the little TEQ? Or is it too... The same year as mine, so it probably does.
Oh, yeah. As far as, like, where the parts are, like, the manifolds and all that.
Gas cap and stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah, I always like that.
The oil cap, I stole one from a junkyard once with the TEQ on it.
Whoa, I'm on a tail. Out of all the features on your Land Cruiser, what would you say is your favorite feature?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know. It might be I like the stuff that's just like gone from history. In new cars, you'll never find it again, like the push button antenna, electric antenna. I like that. I like how when the radio's a little fuzzy, and I'm like, I can fix that. I got something to do here.
That's even better.
But otherwise, I just like the way it looks. I think it looks like all the glass and everything. It's very different from a new car.
If you could describe it in one word, what would be that word and why?
Probably just purposeful, because it seems like it's definitely not for show, even though now they look cool and everyone wants to shine them up. But just like it was born to be used, born to be purposeful truck, squared off edges, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think purposeful would be the word.
If someone came to you, say he's 16 years old, he's only got a couple grand in his pocket, he's looking to buy a Land Cruiser, what would you tell him?
I would say go for one of the early 80s, the FJ80s, because they're the only cheap ones left, really, and they're not bad. They have the same engine as this one, actually, so it's a little down on power, but they're not bad. And if you keep the tire size under like 35 inches or something, you can off-road those things all day too.
That's right.
Yep. I go FJ80. So 91 or 92 Land Cruiser.